Sorry guys, just guzzling down some caffeine. So, I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I've noticed pop up in my YouTube comments section. Not just in mine, but in every video you watch on YouTube. So I posted about this on my community page recently, and a lot of you guys were saying, oh yeah, you've noticed that, or that's popped up recently for you. So I'm talking about this little disclaimer slash warning slash sentence at the top of the comments sections on YouTube now. It says, remember to keep comments respectful and to follow our community guidelines. And as a creator, this also appears at the top of my comment section. So now when I click on to reply to my comments, I also see this little warning slash reminder slash whatever you want to call it, disclaimer, whatever you want to call it, everywhere. So it is obviously something that YouTube has recently decided to promote, to add there, so that it's, you know, on the top of your mind. As soon as you go to comment, you see that little warning, that little hint, that little whatever you want to call it. So I was interested in this. I wanted to know how people felt about this, what it meant. For me, I do see YouTube taking steps to protect its creators. Firstly, there was the steps they took to protect minors and vulnerable people from vile, abusive comments, and even paedophiles and things like that. People who were commenting on children's YouTube channels. Obviously there is a lot of children, a lot of minors, and a lot of vulnerable adults on YouTube. I know that the steps that YouTube have taken, which is basically disabling comments on videos of minors, and I know in lots of instances they've actually deleted videos that they've deemed could potentially attract predators or inappropriate comments and interactions with minors. So all of that has been obviously extremely hard and extremely stressful for those creators. I know Life with Mac has really been just devastated to have lots of her content removed from YouTube because it's deemed to be likely to attract just unwanted, potentially abusive comments, potentially dangerous comments and predators to her channel. But obviously people making those decisions are YouTube, and she feels differently, and obviously it's very, very hurtful for her and very hard and very stressful. So this seems like the next step. So I've only recently noticed this disclaimer or this comment or this warning, whatever you want to call it, pop up probably about a week ago, obviously depending when this video goes up as to how long it's been there for me. But some of you have said it's been there for maybe a few weeks or longer. So obviously it's something they may have rolled out in stages to people. They do quite often do that. That little sentence actually has a link on it. So if you click on the community guidelines, that blue writing, it takes you to those guidelines, and this is what it says. So it says policies and safety. When you use YouTube, you join a community of people from all over the world. That's pretty awesome. Every cool new community feature on YouTube involves a certain level of trust. Millions of users respect that trust, and we trust you to be responsible too. Following the guidelines below helps to keep YouTube fun and enjoyable for everyone. You might not like everything you see on YouTube. If you think content is inappropriate, use the flagging feature to submit it for review by our YouTube staff. Our staff carefully reviews flagged content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to determine whether there's a violation of our community guidelines. So, what I'm determining from this, obviously YouTube has always had restrictions. It's always, oh sorry, kicked my camera. It's always had the ability to report comments, to block a user from commenting on your channel, to hide comments that you find offensive or that hurt you or whatever. It's always had that feature. But as far as actually reporting somebody and having some action taken, those comments and that content has to be pretty extreme. So previously it had to be, you know, illegal or a racist comment or hate comment or a threat of violence, etc. Whereas in what I notice now is if you scroll down, it has all the different types of content or comments. It's all kind of in the same region. All the rules apply to us as content creators, apply to you as commenters as well. So everybody in the community is held to the same set of rules. So this is the harassment and cyberbullying category here. So it says it's not okay to post abusive videos and comments on YouTube. If harassment crosses the line into a malicious attack, it can be reported and may be removed. In other cases, users may be mildly annoying or petty and should be ignored. True. So there's two sides to this. The first is things like drama channels where they might be reporting on behaviours. We've seen a lot of it about the beauty community, and people are concerned, drama channels are concerned that basically their sort of right to freedom of speech or to talk about these events or behaviours or actions of people like beauty gurus will potentially be violating this policy, because one of the guidelines, if you click on that, it will give you a whole big page of guidelines as to what is and isn't okay, and it gives you great examples. To me, it's very clear. Do not post content on YouTube if it fits any of the descriptions noted below. So revealing someone's personal information, obviously not okay to be putting someone's addresses, emails, phone numbers, etc., bank account information. Obviously that's not okay. Content is deliberately posted in order to humiliate someone. Content that makes hurtful and negative personal comments / videos about another person. And obviously there's lots of drama videos that you could say do both those things. Do I think those videos shouldn't be on YouTube? Not really. I feel like these sorts of channels are kind of just reporting, most of them aren't really reporting opinions, they're reporting the facts of things that happened. Is it going to hurt someone that it's the video's about? Probably, but then at the same time you could argue, you know, if you don't want someone to make a video about it, probably don't do it. But yeah, that's where people are starting to get concerned, is it's challenging freedom of speech, challenging the whole platform as far as what people are allowed to do and say on there and what we're allowed to make content about. Obviously that stuff doesn't really affect me. I don't tend to make content that potentially is going to insult or upset somebody. Now, the bit that is interesting to me is where it gives examples. Maliciously ridiculing or mocking an individual based on their personal characteristics. And the example they've given here is, look at this creature's teeth, they're so disgusting. Now, this is where I was like, oh, okay, this is what's funny, is I've had that exact commented on my videos numerous times about my disgusting teeth, or like how disgusting my teeth are and things like that. Might I block that person? Yes. Will I potentially delete their comment? Probably, if it bothers me. But I never would have thought that I could report that person because they're offensive towards me or insulting me. But now apparently that is in the category of not okay and to report. Now, if you get reported the first time, apparently you're just going to receive a warning. After that initial warning, your strikes begin, and if you are reported 3 times and found to be breaking the community guidelines, you will have your channel deleted or your account deleted if you aren't a creator. So that's really interesting to me. When I posted on my community page about this, a couple of people were concerned that, oh, this is like, you know, against freedom of speech. I'm not concerned about that. To me, the priority here is the creator's health and safety, and mental health is a huge part of that as well. There are a lot of minors on YouTube. Do I think it's necessary, or that someone's freedom of speech is more important than our mental health and safety on YouTube? Definitely not. Do I think it's necessary for anybody to say something like that to somebody on the internet? Not in a million years. If that's what you're concerned about, your freedom of speech, you're doing something wrong and you need to really evaluate what your priorities are. Obviously we all have freedom of speech, and ultimately if you want to say your freedom of speech is to insult and say disgusting things to people on the internet, you can still do that, but just know that it now can be reported and flagged and you can have your account deleted. I think there's just a need to have consequences for this sort of behaviour, and I just really do. I see it getting worse and worse, and ultimately YouTube has to take steps. If YouTube does nothing and it allows this abuse and these vile comments to be made and vile content to be continued to be made, I fully eventually expect that YouTube will be shut down. if they weren't doing anything, because we already see people really suffering. We see people deleting their channels, we see people quitting, we see people having you know, all kinds of mental health issues because of the abuse that they suffer on YouTube. And I know some people will just say, well, that's part of YouTube, but that's not good enough for me. I don't feel like it should be part of anywhere. A lot of people's jobs are now YouTube, you know, like it or not. A lot of people, this is their job now. No other workplace would that be acceptable. No other workplace would you be allowed to talk to people like that, to say things like that to people, to send an email saying that sort of thing to someone. There's no way that would be tolerated in any workplace, or it certainly shouldn't be. If it's being tolerated in your workplace, you've got a problem. But there's lots of laws and things like that in the workplace. YouTube is now a workplace for lots of people. And I know that historically it's been somewhere where you can make and do and say whatever you want with no restrictions, but I really don't feel like restricting the hateful, nasty, vile, senseless abuse can possibly be a bad thing. I just think, for me, like the safety, well-being and health and mental health of creators, and also of people who are part of this community, you guys, people who watch videos, does anyone want to see those comments? When I see those comments, it upsets me, it makes me feel bad, it affects me in a negative way, whether it's about me or not. And I just think this is a really great, good thing. Do I think that that little line there is going to stop anybody commenting that might commented those things? Probably not. I think it will stop a small amount of people, because from what I've seen and what I've experienced on my channel, a lot of people who comment that kind of rubbish are teenagers and younger, frighteningly. I had someone comment the other day telling me my makeup looked like a toddler's, which was an odd comment because my toddler doesn't wear makeup, but I thought fine, and it certainly wasn't something that I would even deleted. But her profile picture was of someone that I honestly, not taking the mickey, I'm not trying to be rude, honestly her profile picture, I would have guessed this girl was under 13, and that's how she's spending her time on the internet, which is frightening. But a lot of these people are kids who comment this vile, trolling, abuse. A lot of them are not over the age of 18, and actually kids can be pretty easily scared with a little bit of like stuff like that. If you think, oh my god, you're going to get deleted, or you know I used to be terrified of like recording the top 40 on a tape, because apparently that was illegal, and I literally used to think the police were going to break my door down, because that's what you think when you're a kid. Do you know what I mean? It might just be enough to scare some people off of doing it. I definitely have noticed a lot less horrible abusive comments in the last month or so. I don't think it's down to this. Maybe it's just, I don't know, because of the type of content I've been doing, I don't know. But I would absolutely always support and love any steps that YouTube is taking to protect its creators, because previously there's been very little that they've done at all. So I am just really, really pleased to see this. We've already seen some horrific, tragic consequences of this type of bullying and just vile abuse on the internet. Some just horrific consequences of that to the people suffering from this type of abuse. And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse as time goes on, as these comments build up, as things get worse, as the internet just grows and grows and never stops. As the number of channels grows, the number of users grows. So I really do think it's necessary, unfortunately, in this world to take these steps. Does it mean these comments are going to stop? No, because obviously in order to report it, in order to get someone blocked from YouTube, you have to have already read the comment. I know lots of people are very keen to say, oh, you know, just block them and delete it. And we do, and I'm sure lots of people do that, but obviously you've already read the comment in order to do that, so it doesn't help. You know, it means that they can't comment again, but you know, they can just start a new account, and I'm sure the, you know, the craziest of the crazies probably have numerous accounts going on. So yeah, I think it's time that we took some steps. I think any step is a good step. We'll see how this actually plays out, you know, when it really starts to kick in, you know, whether people really are having their channels deleted or their accounts deleted, and how these strikes really work and what YouTube really deems as breaking the guidelines. But I'm just really interested as to what you guys think of it, what your opinions are on this. and how you feel. For me, this has been a massive learning curve, dealing with these comments and learning how to deal with them and the best ways to deal with them. So yeah, I'm just really interested as to what you guys think. I think a lot of the time the people who are commenting against these restrictions being made and saying, oh, you know, I just don't want freedom of speech to be affected, it's not right, we should be able to comment whatever we like. I do think sometimes people don't realise how bad some of the abuse and the comments get. I experienced a teeny little bit of it when my divorce video, I don't want to say went viral because it was only sort of, I think it was 100,000, 150, 60,000 now views about my divorce. But because it was obviously way bigger than my average video as far as views, and because it seems like that video got posted in like an anti-women's forum. So I had all these men who are part of this anti-women, this women-hating group coming and attacking me on my video, and just the most vile, abusive comments, threatening comments, comments that frightened me, comments about my family, comments about my children, lots of comments about my appearance, lots of comments calling me the most disgusting names, telling me I deserved this and that, just absolutely appalling, abusive, like nonsensical comments, hundreds and hundreds of them, because I basically got, I don't know, is it called gaslighting? Basically everybody like were called to come and attack me on my channel, just because they hate women. They believe that all women should be treated like this. They believe that everything is a woman's fault. I think a lot of these men seem to have gone through very awful divorces themselves and were taking it out on me. A lot of them have been like stopped from seeing their children, and again taken it out on me, even though I didn't have children with my ex-husband. It was not relevant to my situation. I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't expecting it. The purpose of that video was to help other people going through something similar. I felt personally I was very respectful towards my ex-husband. I didn't say his name, and I didn't say anything that wasn't very common knowledge, known very absolutely transparently for all of his family and friends and my family and friends. I didn't say anything that was new that would expose him. I left anything out that people didn't know about that he did, for all of those reasons, and I just kept it very factual so that I could help people as to how I coped with it and moved on. And honestly, the abuse on that video, and you think, you know, lots of YouTubers get 10, 20, 30, 40 times those views on every video. So I was like, this is what that must be like to be a big YouTuber. These comments were honestly brought me to tears numerous times. They scared me. I wanted to delete my channel, delete the video. It was really horrible, awful, horrific. It really made me think, who wants to do this? Who wants this to be their life? You know, it was frightening. And to me, that just gave me a glimpse of what big YouTubers experience as far as hate. And I guess I don't feel like I'm a really, really easy target. Like, I'm not super, super young. I'm not the most mature. I'm not hugely different looking. I haven't, you know, got anything that's a very easy thing to pick at me. And I think that for that reason, what I get is just, you know, comments about things like my teeth or my accent or my personality. But I feel like people who, you know, look really different or have a disability or who are, you know, extremely young, extremely old, whatever, those people are getting 5 million times the abuse that I will ever get, because people, that's just what people are like on the internet. If there's something obvious or something where you can attack someone based on their skin colour, their, you know, a disability that they have, a quirk that they have, if they're LGBTQ, those accounts and people who are the most important part of this community to show diversity and who undoubtedly are helping so many young people see somebody that looks like them, that sounds like them, that is like them, that they can relate to. That's so important for young people. And those people, the amount of hate that they get, ooh, I mean, it's heartbreaking. And I don't understand why anyone wouldn't support a crackdown on that. To me, it is 100% a positive, good thing. But I know that people feel differently, so I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. So that's it, guys. As always, I just like to chat things with you. I love to hear your opinions. I love to hear your thoughts on things. Are they the same as mine? Are they different? Obviously, most of you will be coming from a perspective of someone who watches YouTube and comments rather than makes content. But either way, I always value your opinions, so I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Take care for now. Bye, 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 bye.